Well, they won the jury vote in 2019, and North Macedonia, I can't even say the name, North Macedonia, they are back trying to return to the grand finals. Can they do it? Well, the first rehearsal, we just watched it. Vasil, let's see how his Here I Stand will stand out. Let's talk Eurovision. What's up? Matt, ESC United, your favorite Eurovision channel. And yes, North Macedonia, the second to last song of the night, Here I Stand. And he came out trying to make his country proud. I know there's been a lot of discussion and dialogue about the song, but let's talk about what we saw today behind that big do not record screen, which is sometimes not easy. This is like the biggest I've ever seen it. I'm like, why even bother? But what your observations? Tell me.
God, how do I say this tactically? Like, going into tonight, into today, I thought North Macedonia was the second worst of the year. I only dislike Germany more. But I didn't actively hate what I saw today. Maybe it was the watermark, I don't know. But, the main... I can't really praise it because I did not like it personally. Mm-hmm. But I do think that Vasil delivered a technically good rehearsal, at least. He mimes well. He really gets into the song, and I haven't heard a single
sour note
dot note. So on that regard, I think he did well. The problem is, of course, the song. The song is very slow. It builds up momentum very slowly, and it discharges it very slowly. So you're having slow tempo, slow momentum, and slow interest. And that is, I think, their main struggle. It's going to be really difficult to rope in an audience unless you're specifically into that sort of music. Mm-hmm. Then we have the outfit, which I think we were going to mention. It's literally a black mirrored version of Anna's outfit. That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, because he's wearing black with a cape to the side.
Yes.
Well, she's wearing white.
The only difference that he has is that, where my t-shirt is, he's wearing some sort of lamellar armor suit made from disco ball material. So they project beams onto him and it reflects back, kind of like Dota, but not nearly as impressive. So that's one of his gimmicks. In terms of the other gimmicks that he uses, he sort of uses overlay projections of stars and supernovas to make himself look impressive, and it kind of works. I'm kind of bored by North Macedonia. That's sort of the word that I would use, but I'm not irritated by it as I thought.
That's an upgrade.
It is an upgrade. It's still not particularly great. It's probably my least favorite. It's definitely my least favorite of the 6 or 5. Do we count Australia?
No, not really.
6. Okay, that we've heard today. So
okay, that's fair. I do actually have a certain appreciation for the song. I actually kind of like. I like it. It is a little, out of the bubble, of course, but I'm always thinking of there is a market out there that people overlook with North Macedonia. I'm going back, there's so many examples, like 2011, Lithuania, C'est la vie. Everyone thought it was going to come last, and there it qualifies. And there are other songs in a similar genre. I'd have to go through the list. So I think there is a place for that song. But I will say the staging, my biggest concern is that Vasil, who is passionate about his music and his art, that he becomes too theatrical. And I mean that in the poses that he does and the way he holds the microphone.
He didn't come off as that theatrical.
Not at all. I was worried about that.
It was toned down based on the music video, but then again, this was the first rehearsal. Maybe he will crank it up a notch and I'll be forced to dislike him again.
But even just his gestures, his hand gestures and all of that stuff, it was a lot more, okay, I can deal with that. So, and he, yes, as you pointed out, you have that projection on his chest with the glitter, and then it grows and blows up, like the Big Bang you said, or the sonic boom kind of thing. It's pretty cool. It creates an atmosphere, and I think it carries the song well. It's sometimes very hard to hear because it wasn't, again, not cranked up very much, but he hits that high note really nice. But when at the very end, and then you see the lights come up there. That is a nice big finish, and big finishes. It's a good thing at Eurovision because you want to leave on a big bang. So, no pun intended, because I just said big bang with the light projection. But I think actually that there is something. Now, we'll always go back to, I feel as the Slovenia fan base and the North Macedonia fan base, they could compete against each other. It comes down to which one is just the more polished or appreciated one. So that could be a kind of a situation. But I think considering the circumstances and the lack of hype and interest that the song has, I think this actually looked really, really good. So what do you think should change? I mean, don't say the song. I'm talking about like staging wise.
Now I actually have to come up with something. I mean, I think he was a bit holding back by the end in terms of vocals. So that is something I would like to see changed, because right now the backing vocals, which are heavily auto-tuned, overwhelmed him immensely near the end. But again, he was holding back on the high notes. And then, yeah, well, I mean, I would like to see a little bit more tempo in the staging, because the song already is very slow in its tempo, and the act unfolds very slowly. So you have slow upon slow upon slow upon slow, and it's like, where's my phone again? I'm going to start fidgeting again. Where's the interesting thing happening? And that's the issue that you always have with entries like this. Slovenia at least managed to more or less retain my interest throughout. North Macedonia kind of doesn't. That I think is the real problem that they face, because no matter whether you're a juror or a televoter, if you get bored, that is a kiss of death.
That's a kiss of death. That is true. Comes down to the energy thing. That is true. And we always got to add, this is the first individual rehearsal, and that's a very whether you feel the song, it's not an easy song to sing. There's a lot of vocal strength needed, and yes, he was certainly holding back, especially in the very end with the high notes, because he doesn't want to ruin his voice. So we only hear, for the most part, or at least the backup track, the vocals were really, really prominent, and that obviously that got to change. It will change, so I'm not too worried. But make sure, I'm looking forward to the Vasil, where he really gives us 100%. And which may not happen until the Jew show, who knows? And actually, I'm not complaining, because that's a good thing. Your facial expressions were not over the top good. Sometimes when you get too theatrical, as I talk about, then it gets off-putting. He did fairly well here. It seemed appropriate, and
I thought
keep
he
it that
emoted
way.
well. Yes,
Yes,
that's something that needs to be
well.
said. I was going to say something positive, and I've lost it. Oh well.
You've lost it a long time.
It'll have to wait until whenever it's that he's rehearsing again, Wednesday or Thursday.
For the next video. But those are our thoughts
Cliffhanger.
on North Macedonia. So we have a little bit of a competing opinions here, which is good, because the last few videos we agreed it was super boring. So this time, two different thoughts. So where do you fall? Are you thinking like, okay, this, maybe you don't count him just out, or are you more like Boris, lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig kind of thing? Let us know in the description box, in the comment section. And we'll be back soon, because we got another video coming up in just a hot second. Bye.